Hey, what's going on, guys? What's up? Welcome back to another video. We're back at it again with the DIYs, and we have a special guest with us today who's been missing. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Jamal.
You can't escape me.
Yep, for real. Can't escape Jamal.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been very busy with work and whatnot, so I've had to. Yep, I've had to go at it alone for a couple of videos with the help of some other people, but we are back today with
Let's get back to work, man. What are we doing here?
For real. But we are back today again with another mod install DIY for the F80 M3. And what we will be doing today is we will be doing a full stud and spacer conversion to the F80, getting that fitment dialed in before I go ahead and lower the car with whatever suspension that I end up going with. Don't know yet. Don't really care yet. Not until I get to that point. So we're not gonna beat around the bush any longer or too much longer. We're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it.
All right. With that being said, what are we doing?
All right, so guys, today we're gonna be installing, like I already said, the stud and wheel conversion that we have here from Motorsport hardware. As you can see, these are the spacers right here. Super high quality. I'm blown away at the quality of these spacers, to be honest with you. They look great. Reasons why I wanted to go with Motorsport hardware is because they actually have their own track/race car that they use and they test out all their products on. So, you know, I felt comfortable putting those type of products on my M3, knowing that, you know, they've been tested and proven to work. Because as I've already told you guys, I do plan on taking the M3 to the track sometime soon once I have everything that I want to install on the car installed on the car and I feel like it's ready to go. Everything is super detailed, super fine, looks really good. No complaints about any of the products that I have right here that I got from Motorsport hardware. I did end up going, there, super stuck. There we go, I'll just take two. I did end up going with the Tracklight 15mm Motorsport hardware spacers, and they are hub centric. Now guys, it is very important when you are looking for spacers, especially for a BMW, that you make sure that you want to get a pair of hub centric, there we go, hub centric spacers, because these do go around the actual fitting on the hub itself. So everything is equally balanced and you don't have to worry about anything coming loose or any vibrations later on down the road. And I did also end up going with 78mm black studs that you guys see here. I didn't want anything too crazy that was gonna, you know, poke out of the wheel. I didn't want any of that, you know, JDM or, you know, whatever you want to call it look. But I think these will fit perfectly inside once the wheel is on and once the bolt is on as well. I think it'll look really good. So with all that said, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start taking everything apart and start cleaning everything and putting everything on. Also, the tools required for this job are super simple. You don't need a lot of tools. You just need to make sure you have the right stuff. I do have an electric impact here just to help remove the wheels. If they do come off, they are torqued down pretty tight, so this might not be enough. If that's not enough, then I have a massive breaker bar here that will be, you know, more than good enough to break off the wheel. You're also going to need a 3/4 inch torque wrench. And you're also going to need a 1/2 inch torque wrench. The 3/4 inch torque wrench is going to be used to tighten down the studs to spec, and then the 1/4 inch is going to be, then the 1/2 inch is going to be used to tighten down the bolts once everything is put together down to spec. And we're going to let you guys know what those specs are. You're also going to need a 5mm Allen, preferably one that has a socket that you can put on in order to torque everything down properly. You're going to need some medium strength thread locker. You do want to make sure that you have the blue stuff, not the red stuff, and it is medium strength. Reasons for that being is if you were to put the extra strength or the red thread locker onto your studs over here, you would run into the issue of them being very difficult to take out, and you do have to do maintenance on your studs, guys. You do have to check for proper tightness, every so often. Make sure they're clean. You don't want your wheel falling off or anything like that when you are driving around the track or anything like that. So you do want to use the medium strength thread locker right here that we have. You want to have a 17 millimeter socket in order to tighten the wheel down properly. And I do recommend having a sleeved 17 millimeter socket. That way you don't mess up your nice wheels. That's just my preference. You're gonna need a wire brush in order to clean off the hub, all that gunk and grime that could potentially be on there, so that the spacers sit on there nice and flat. And then a pair of gloves so you don't get your hands all dirty while you are doing the install and cleaning everything up. Whew, that was a mouthful. But like I said, also you're gonna need a jack as well to jack up the car. The reason why I chose to do this here in the garage, which is pretty much where all of our YouTube videos started, where we did all of our DIYs, to Jamal's bike, to my bike, to his E36, so on and so forth. But I wanted to make it as realistic for everybody who's watching this video, to let you guys know that it's a very simple thing to do. You can do it in your garage, you can do it outside, you can do it in an apartment complex. All you're gonna need is a jack, the tools I just listed, and obviously the hardware to install it. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and let's start taking these wheels off. All right guys, so as you can see, the wheel has been removed. We got it right over here. So now what you're gonna do, since I'm installing spacers, is you wanna clean this hub right here. So you see how it has all this corrosion going on the inside and on the outside. This is when you wanna take your wire brush and you just wanna try to get this as clean as possible all the way around, so that the spacer can sit on there as flush as possible without having, any imperfections or anything like that. And then once that's all cleaned up and ready to go, you're gonna put a little bit of anti-seize or brake paste, and I'll show you what it looks like in the next clip, around this, so that it will prevent this corrosion or rust from happening later on in the future. And also you don't have to worry about your spacer being a pain when you need to remove it, or when you have to remove everything in order to replace your rotors or pads or anything like that. All right guys, so as you can see here, as everybody knows who owns a BMW or any other European car, these are the factory lug bolts that come on your car. They're not very long, but they definitely do the job. I will say that they definitely do keep the wheel on there. So as you can see in comparison, this is what we removed and this is what we'll be putting on. This shorter section right back here where my pinky is rubbing on, that's the portion that's gonna be going into the hub. Over here like so. So then once that's up there, you're just gonna twist it in place with some Loctite, medium strength on the end of this. You only need one drop, and I'll show you guys how that works, but that's what's gonna be going in. Now some of the benefits of a stud over the OEM factory lug bolts is that it evenly distributes the weight of the wheel completely around. So with the studs here, it allows everything to be, more equally balanced and tightened properly in the long run. And also some of the benefits of studs over bolts is that everybody knows how annoying it is trying to remove your wheel when you have to remove the OEM factory lug bolts here. You have to take all 5 of them out. And it's a pain when you take them out, because then the wheel could potentially drop here on your rotor or on your dust shield, and it can ruin your expensive wheels. So with studs, once you remove the nuts off of the studs, the wheel is still going to be hanging on from the stud right here, and then you can just pull the wheel off and then slide the wheel back on. A lot easier. It helps out when you're on the track and you need to change out pads for whatever reason, or you need to change a tire, or you need to check something for tightness, or whatever the case may be. It's just a lot simpler. It saves yourself a lot of headache in the long run, and it looks good. So we're gonna go ahead now. We're gonna jump into me, showing you guys how to put the studs in and then torquing everything down properly. All right, guys. So now that we have everything cleaned up, we cleaned this section of the hub right here for when we do put the spacers on. Like again, I said, you want to make sure that's nice and clean to make sure that the mating surfaces, mate perfectly without having any type of interference or anything in the way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to start installing our studs. So again, we have our blue medium strength Loctite or thread lock. So you only need one drop on the short portion, this portion right here. So you're going to take one drop of it, just like that. And we're gonna insert her And then we're gonna start threading her in. Just like that. That's one done. And we're gonna do the same for all the rest.
19 more to go.
Yeah, for real, 19 more to go. One drop just like that. And then thread her in. And then once you've finished all 5 of them, you're gonna take your torque wrench with your 5mm Allen, and you're gonna torque all of these to 25 foot-pounds. And then once everything's tying down to 25 foot-pounds, you're gonna do the same process to every other wheel on the car. All right, guys, so now that we have all the studs in and torqued down, you just wanna go ahead and double check everything. Make sure you hear that nice satisfying click. Oh, gotta hold.
Which you won't, because my foot aren't on the brakes. Sorry.
I'm gonna get it.
Suffer.
I'm strong enough.
Suffer. No, he's not. No.
Like I said, you wanna hear that click. You wanna go around and you wanna check all of them for that same click. Make sure they are at 25 foot-pounds.
Right, and make sure you know the difference between a click and a snap.
Yes, you'll know if it's a snap. You'll know if it's a snap.
Yeah.
All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide the spacer on, because I do have to put this wheel back on in order to do the rest of the wheels on the car. You guys are gonna have to do the same thing if you do this how I'm doing it, or if you have a lift, it's gonna be much easier. You can have everything off, clean everything at once. But anyways.
Whoever's editing this, go ahead and edit that whole thing to slow it down 25%.
For real, because I was going 100 miles an hour. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your anti-seize lubricant. I probably should have did this before I put the studs on. You're gonna rip that bad boy open. I failed on the rip. So take some of that. A little hole over here. Just put a little bit of it on your finger.
Shout out to the guy at Discount Advance that didn't know what this was.
Right, I had to like help him walk through it. But you're gonna just slide a little bit of this on each one of these that we cleaned off here. And this is just gonna help for when it comes time to remove the spacer. There's not gonna be any corrosion or anything like that from water getting trapped in here and just sitting there over time. So it's gonna make taking the spacer off that much easier. So once you have it on all of those, just take whatever excess is left on your finger, kind of rub it on the hub-centric portion of the spacer itself. Make sure it's all good to go. And you're gonna take it, line it up to the holes, and then ever so gently.
That moment when you're wondering if you ordered the wrong part or not.
Nope. Start it right up.
When you realize it's 5x114, not 5x120.
Yeah, right.
When you really start to question if I'm right or not.
Could you imagine? I'm getting stuck on here. Guys, this is a failed attempt. Make sure you don't watch this tutorial and or DIY.
If he edits this out, I'm gonna say it in the end to make sure he doesn't edit this out. Technical difficulties, we'll be right back.
I figured it out. Listen guys, I was just trying to be extra careful. You know, I figured it was just gonna slide right over, but we had to give it a couple ding dings. You know what I'm saying? It's very precise, machined to fit. And then once we gave it a couple ding dings, you know, she just slid right on. So I hope I don't lose one of my wheels on the I-4 headed on. Oh man.
Well, now you guys know what it looks like.
Right, so this is what's gonna, this is what it is going to look like for every other wheel on the car. So we have 3 more to do. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna knock that out, and then once we're all finished, we're gonna come back, we're gonna get some shots of how it looks, you know, after we've done everything, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So roll the SpongeBob clip or whatever.
We not rolling nothing. Next time you see this face, just know it's gonna be the end of the video.
Yep.
So we are, I would say from the last clip, an hour?
Yeah, I mean an hour. Like I said, guys, this is a very simple, easy to do DIY for you guys for doing the spacers and the studs, or either or. Once I finished up with this one and pretty much showing you guys everything that you have to do, I knocked out every other wheel. The 3 other wheels took me about 10 minutes each, and that was double checking everything, properly cleaning everything, putting, you know, the anti-seize on the hub itself and on the spacer itself, making sure everything was tight, torqued properly all the way around the car. So ideally speaking, it'll take you, you know, from setup to tear down, removing everything, tightening everything, probably anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour. You know, that's you taking your time. You know, if you have a lift, obviously it'll be a lot faster. You can have all 4 wheels off. You can knock everything out real quick. Bish, bam, boom, 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 boom. But again, like I said, I was going to use my lift at the shop that I work at. But I wanted for this to be as similar to your guys' situation, for those of you who don't have a lift, as possible, so you could still see how easy it is if you don't have a lift. And I think that the fitment looks a lot better. Again, like I said, we're running the 15s in the front and the 15s in the rear. I haven't had the chance to open up the garage, step back, and actually look at it, but from what I can tell, and from what you guys saw earlier, the stock fitment, this does look a lot better. If the front does poke out a little bit too much, or I don't like it too much with the 15s, I'll probably drop it down to 12s. That's more common. That's what people usually run. But from the videos that I've seen and from what I've watched and, you know, seen in photos, 15s do look good. Plus, I also plan on, you know, putting lowering springs, the in-performance lowering springs from BMW on the car, so that might help out as well. But until then, I won't know. So, if I had to give this a rating on difficulty, I probably would give this a 5 out of 10. Anybody can do it as long as you have the proper tools to do it and all the proper hardware. You can knock it out pretty fast. So, on another note, I finally got the M3 tinted. No longer fishbowl. I couldn't take it anymore. Florida is definitely no joke.
It's way too hot over here.
Way too hot over here. I mean, I would have
There's
the
no
AC.
escape.
I would have the AC on full blast, and I'd still be melting in the car. But I went with 30% ceramic tint all the way around the car, and then I did Air Blue 80 on the front windshield. As you guys can probably kind of tell, it's kind of blue on the front windshield. I will say though, during the daytime, the blue on that you're seeing right here is not noticeable at all. Well, it doesn't even look like it's there, but since we are in a darker setting and we do have, you know, direct lights in here, you can kind of see the blue hue that the Air Blue 80 does give off. But it is a lot cooler with the ceramic window tint all the way around the car. Absolutely love it. And I'll show you guys here a little better how the fitment is with the 15s. And then here in the rear. So not too much poke, but I feel like it's just enough as Jamal comes in clutch with the LED lights.
Always, that's right.
That's right. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this video. Again, like I said, super quick, easy install. It should take you about an hour to do. Just make sure when you're done, another important thing to do is to take the vehicle out and drive it around for like a couple of miles. Make sure you don't hear any weird noises, any weird clunking. And then
Always bolt check.
Bolt check, and then after it's all said and done, once you've driven around for a couple of miles and you haven't heard anything weird, come back inside, make sure everything is still torqued properly. The torque specs that I forgot to record and mention, for all the wheels around the car, once you put the lug nuts onto the studs, is going to be 140 Newton meters, or if you broke that down into foot-pounds, it's going to be, if you want an accurate answer, 102.269 foot-pounds, so 104 foot-pounds to be safe, but 140 Newton meters is what you want to torque down your wheels to with the lug nuts and, with the nuts and the spacers. So just go ahead and double tap on that. Jamal, you got anything you want to say?
My car reveals next video. Sorry for your loss. Ben already exposed what car I had, but that's okay. I know you guys aren't gonna rewind it, so.
No, for real. We exposed that car a long time ago.
Forever ago.
Forever ago. But
yep.
You have done a couple of nice things to it that, you know, they'll be able to see.
Well, put it this way. It won't really be a reveal. It'll be more of a,
catching up.
No, it'll be like a welcoming. Or it will be an introduction. That's what it'll be. It won't be a reveal. It'll be an introduction to the channel. And hopefully when this car gets done properly, it will propel us into a whole nother vast array of videos that we can create for you guys as well. We cleaned the garage, we organized the garage. We got a TV in the back now, so you can see us be playing Warzone and stuff like that. What else we got?
I found the battery.
Oh, we found a battery.
Found the battery for the GoPro.
Yep, put that in your camera bag, sir.
That pretty much covers everything.
Man, you saw what we did, man. You heard what we said. That's it. That's sorry for your loss.